Well, all four of the Laker All-Stars scored 20-plus points tonight. Lakers win their third in a row, 122-115 over the Portland Trail Blazers. Speaking for Scott Hastings, Cheryl Miller, this is Bob Neal from the Great Western Forum, and we're going directly to Atlanta, Georgia. Vince Cellini and Reggie Theus. Gentlemen.
And we thank you, Bob Neal. This is Vince along with Reggie reminding you Inside the NBA is coming up next. We'll have the Latrell Sprewell hearing day 7. Also, Michael Jordan gives us the definitive Michael Jordan future. What's going on with Bulls management, too? We'll talk about that. It's all coming up next right after this break.
Out here, we negotiate on the court. Somebody coming off the bench to give you a rest? Because I'm busting you down. Open, fast. Give it up. Get that pro ball. Get hands up off me. Foul. What foul? Show me the blood. Shoot it.
Some of the best players
Definitely's got control. The kid's red hot.
have something to say
Fastest thing I've ever seen.
about the red-hot rookie.
One of the best pivot moves around.
Watch the red-hot rookie take on the competition. Tune into the Schick Rookie Game February 7th at 7 p.m. Eastern on TNT.
We're going face-to-face, and it's going to be a close one.
TBS Superstation is the place to catch big-time sports.
How far is it going to go?
Atlanta Braves baseball.
Got it. Swinging with a changeup.
The NBA.
My goodness.
NASCAR. The PGA Championship and the MasterCard PGA Grand Slam. Professional and amateur figure skating. And coming next summer, the 1998 Goodwill Games from New York. Super Sports, here on the Superstation.
Super Weekend on the Superstation. Friday, dinner and a movie. Charles Grodin, Jim Belushi, taking care of business. Then, WCW Saturday night. Sunday, Whoopi Goldberg, Ray Liotta, Karina. Then it's a Superstation premiere.
As God is my witness, those boys will never see combat.
Lawrence Fishburne, Cuba Gooding Jr., the Tuskegee Airmen. It's a Super Weekend on the Superstation.
And so what's next on Inside the NBA? Well, perhaps a message for Michael and Jordan with one of his own. I'm not coming back next season, Jerry Krause. The Bulls were worked over by the Jazz at Delta Center. Jazz beating them for the second time in 10 days. I mean, beating them. And in a battle of conference leaders, Vin Baker ate up the Pacers and fed his teammate Jim McElvain. The Knicks done in by a kid from New York. Stephon Marbury hungry like the wolf. And day 7 of the Latrell Sprewell hearing and new developments on a day and night of talk from New York. And we are just a short camera tilt down. You found us inside the NBA along with Reggie Theus. I'm Vince Cellini, and we begin where we left off last season. 97 finalists, the Bulls and Jazz meeting again. Just 10 days after Utah stunned Chicago at the United Center. Now the subplot here, Bulls general manager Jerry Krause telling the Chicago Tribune this may be the end of the Bulls as we know them. Krause stated once again Phil Jackson won't be back next season. And as for Michael Jordan, Krause said, quote, if Michael chooses to leave because there's another coach here, then it is his choice, not ours. We would like to have Michael back, but Michael's going to have to play for someone else. It isn't going to be Phil. So power play or what? Our Brian Burwell asking Jordan about retirement prior to the Bulls-Jazz game.
There's absolutely no room at all for you coming back under any other circumstances.
None at all. And it's not a knock for them. I mean, I think they choose their direction, and I choose my direction with an understanding that, this still is a business, and they have to do what they have to do to make things work. And I have to make things work for myself in terms of what makes me feel comfortable. And I can't say that makes me feel comfortable playing for another coach at this stage in my career.
Well, it was down to business for Michael and the Bulls against the Jazz after some silliness in skiing at Delta Center. Hey, careful out there, you can get hurt. Scottie Pippen with a steal, and then Scottie Pippen pushing it up the floor. Not going to finish, gives it over to Ronnie Harper, basket and one, part of a 19-2 Bulls run. The Bulls were really out in front. Then Michael Jordan cleaning up off the Scaparell miss and a sweet little reversal. 23 in the first half, 40 in the game for Michael. 35-13 Bulls after one. But Karl Malone bringing the Jazz back, throwing up that, and it goes. Bulls were still up by 9 at halftime. John Stockton then gets a loose ball from Jordan and off to Malone, who finishes during an 11-0 Jazz run. Malone had 12 points in the third quarter alone. Bulls are up 61-56. Scottie Pippen, this was not good for Chicago. Pulled the hamstring and missed the final 18 minutes of the game. Jazz was up by 2 after 3, and then...
Oh, Stockton, that's why he's the best of all times. Taking it from him, giving it to it. Ooh, man, nice.
Yep, Stockton.
He's good.
Very good. 17 points and 18 assists for John Stockton in the game. And looky this. Utah with a sweep, season sweep of the Chicago Bulls. Karl Malone with 30, and the Jazz became the first Western Conference team to sweep the Bulls in a series in the season in 3 years, and in a 10-day span, no less. Dennis Rodman only 4 rebounds in this game. The average is almost 16 a game. Afterward, Michael stood his ground on that retirement issue.
I won't play. I retire totally. It's that simple. It's totally simple. I won't play nowhere else. I won't follow Phil nowhere. You know, I will totally retire. So that clears every question.
Come
you
back
know,
here and watch the Jazz.
And you know what management is saying. You know, Phil is out. Then this is my last year.
It don't make no sense at all. But the motives of management. You know, what can you do? You know, it's a business, and I think it's a sickly idea of why he want to come out and say this all of a sudden now. We don't need that right now. I mean, he's a smart man, but that's not a smart move right there.
Well, Reggie, first, you know, this situation itself and, you know, the timing of which is in question.
It's not a good time for it at all. I mean, matter of fact, personally, I didn't think Michael was going to play another year anyway. And the timing of it all really takes away from the whole mystique of the Chicago Bulls. We were talking about it earlier that, you know, they're going in playing teams now that are not afraid of the Chicago Bulls anymore like they were back in the day. Michael Jordan always talking about the mental edge. Chicago Bulls do not have the mental edge anymore, and these kind of things like the Krause, Jordan, Jackson, all those things is what takes away from that.
You know, Jazz have to feel great about this. Of course, they broke down a lot of that fear factor in the finals, and then now with the season sweep, so the Jazz really feeling good and bouncing back from the Clipper loss, too.
I thought that they were done when Stockton was out, but they came right back.
All right, conference leaders Indiana and Seattle on the floor at Key Arena. It was Beard versus Bird. In the second quarter, Jalen Rose going strong to the basket for 2. Boy, he has revived his career under Larry Bird. Sonics are up by 6. Third quarter, Hersey Hawkins with a steal, then the dish to Gary Payton for the lay-in. Sonics are up by 7 at this point, 54-47. Mark Jackson now answering back on Payton.
Oh, you know he got to get a shake now. On the ground, shake for me.
Oh, he threw you a little something there.
It was weak.
Sonics are up by 2. Fourth quarter, Gary Payton working on Travis Best. That was sweet.
Man.
Sonics have a 7-point lead, and Larry said something there. Then Indiana double-teaming Gary Payton, and he somehow kicks this out to Dale Ellis. And
bang! You know it's good. Straight in the face.
84-76 Sonics. Then Payton hooks up with Vin Baker on the alley-oop. Sonics open a 17-point lead. Indiana makes a run in the fourth quarter. Mark Jackson behind the back.
Oh! Oh, he didn't even have it in his hands.
Reggie from way out. 98-91 Sonics, but Vin Baker answers back again. That was pretty. A little fadeaway right there. Fist in the air. Vin Baker ties his career high with 41 points, had 11 rebounds, 6 blocks, as Seattle moves to 37-10. That is the best record in basketball. Only the 5th time this season the Pacers have given up 100 points, and the Pacers had won 7 in a row. Knicks Timberwolves, this at Tarjay. Stephon Marbury's not going to go back home to New York for the All-Star game. So how about a little All-Star show here? Early on, Marbury to the hoop.
I mean, he's been getting off ever since he didn't get picked.
No question.
Unreal.
1 point, Wolves lead there. Van Gundy doesn't like it. Allen Houston's been playing well. And off the Marbury turnover, look at Houston come back the other way. And with 2 hands. Knicks have a 3-point lead early. More Stephon on the move.
Can't stop me.
Oh, the floater and the kiss. The game is tied at 18. The real all-star from the T-Wolves, Kevin Garnett, takes the feed and finishes. 46-41 Wolves in the second quarter. On to the third. Knicks.
What is he doing?
He's got a stiff back, Studley. He's not feeling so good. They have injuries galore anyway, and that didn't help. Then KG to Stephon. A nice give and go. 65-56 T-Wolves. Knicks. Not much D. That's Cherokee Parks getting in the highlights.
No, it's over. He's scoring.
Oh, you said that. And the Knicks, they look to be out of it. They were down 15 with 4 minutes left, but Oakley with a block, and then Houston fills it up with a left hand. 91-87 T-Wolves, so the lead is down to 4. Larry Johnson hit a free throw, but Sam Mitchell, Sammy, 93-88. And the T-Wolves win 95-88. Starbury, 29 and 10 assists to hurt the team he grew up watching. The T-Wolves in a 3-game slide. The Knicks lose for a 5th time in 6 games.
I like that Starbury.
Yeah, well, you know, somebody else came up with it, but I stole it. Pacers and the Sonics. Boy, the Sonics were impressive. How far can these two teams go? Obviously, they leave their conferences coming in.
Well, Vince, first of all, these two teams, the key to winning the championship is winning on the road. Both these teams, the best in their conferences in doing just that. You know, Vin Baker, a great fit for the Seattle. Big fella getting 41 tonight just fits so perfectly. You can always know where he is on the floor. And then the will of Gary Payton. It's a tough team. It's going to give the Lakers a lot of problems, and Utah a lot of problems coming out of the West.
Yeah, those coaches.
Indiana playing just as good as anybody else in the East, too.
Very strong. Much more to come on Inside the NBA, and some interesting developments in the Latrell Sprewell hearing. Our Craig Sager with some new information, and we'll pass that along to you. And then it's back to the floor for the Cavs. Now you see Sean Kemp, and now you don't. We'll explain as he faces the Wizards.
Everybody on the dance floor. America's favorite wedding singer is all show. Whoopity-doo! Good wedding singer, all go.
I am never going to marry a wedding singer.
Things that could have been brought to my attention yesterday.
And all Adam.
You will listen to every word I have to say.
Adam Sandler. Ooh. Drew Barrymore, the wedding singer.
Get out of my Van Halen t-shirt before you jinx the band and they break up.
Rated PG-13. Starts Friday, February 13th.
At Ace Dollar Days, you can turn $1 into a lot of great stuff. Like 2 rolls of assorted Ace brand tape. Or a roll of Ace Tall kitchen trash bags. So hurry to Ace Dollar Days before everything's gone.
Do I hear 2,000 for a date with supermodel Jennifer? 2,000.
Is your dandruff sending the wrong signals?
Sold to number 10 for $2,000.
Get Selsun Power. Doctors recommend Selsun Blue #1. So don't send the wrong signals. Get Selsun Power.
Sony Trinitron. Sony Surround Sound. Cool.
It's one of the many combinations that can make great things happen in your home.
Next?
Any way you put it together, it's maximum television. Only from Sony.
Come along, join the biggest stars as they soar into the night.
We hit the stage to watch the NBA play. On the cross Broadway. I love this game.
I love this game.
I love this game.
This game.
Every week on the Superstation, there's a storm. Live. Thunder. Last Thursday night, Bill Goldberg was fast and furious, and DDP set a U.S. title match against Chris Benoit. Thunder. Thursday night, 8:05 Eastern, only on the Superstation.
And we welcome you back. And now the AutoZone news of the day. And it's another day in the Latrell Sprewell arbitration hearing, day 7, in fact. And for the first time, Sprewell's ex-coach P.J. Carlesimo giving testimony. Our Craig Sager has more from New York.
Carlesimo established that there was a second attack, testifying that Sprewell, after being kicked out of practice, did return, did swing at the coach, and did use the phrase, "I'll kill you." Sprewell, during testimony last week, denied the second attack, claiming he was held back by teammates and coaches before he could land a punch. However, it was pointed out today that under California law, it does not matter where the contact was made. An assault is defined as an attempt. With Sprewell in the room, Carlesimo outlined details of their strained relationship. During the timeout of a game, Sprewell called the coach a joke. He also missed a curfew before a game against the Utah Jazz, and on numerous occasions showed a lackadaisical effort during practice. This is the first time in NBA history that a player's contract has been terminated for insubordination. And although Carlissimo admitted having problems communicating with his all-star guard, he said nobody wanted this to happen. Tomorrow, Horst Ballmer will take the stand along with a long-awaited appearance from Commissioner David Stern. Certainly one of the most outrageous acts in all of sports. Sprewell's suspension is now in the 65th day, making it the longest non-drug-related suspension in NBA history. Vince?
Okay, Craig, and one more note on this story. Craig Sager has learned that when NBA Security Director Horace Ballmer called Latrell Sprewell to investigate the incident, Sprewell did not hang up the phone on Ballmer, and he was very cooperative. Now, this contradicts earlier reports which stated that Sprewell hung up the phone on Ballmer and really wasn't being cooperative here. So perhaps, Reggie, if Ballmer had what he needed out of that conversation and had a subsequent report to the league, perhaps due process was filled as far as the league is concerned.
I know, and that brings up a real big issue. You know, did he get his due process according to the league? You have to remember that the league is its own entity, really makes up its own rules. So it's going to come down to how the arbitrator views this whole situation.
We hear people like Billy Hunter going to testify, right. Commissioner Stern going to testify, and then with a partial lifting of the gag order, and we can hear from those gentlemen on Saturday. You know, maybe we'll separate, you know, speculation from fact.
Well, we're sitting here, we're talking about a lot of different things, and finally we're going to get a chance to really hone in on what's being said in that courtroom, and I think that's going to help everybody, you know, draw their own conclusions.
Okay, now some real hard facts here back on the court. The highlights never lie. Back to the games and the Cavs in Washington, and while the Wizards were missing Chris Webber with a shoulder injury, they didn't miss the mark against Cleveland. Let's take a look at what happened at the MCI. Juwan Howard trying to have a big night without Chris there. And the Wizards down 2 in the first quarter off a Cavs turnover. Rod Strickland.
Oh, nice up the middle.
Howard with a finish. The finger roll. 10 points in the first quarter alone. Sean Kemp to the Z-Mat. Zydrunas Ilgauskas down low for the slam. Ilgauskas 10 points in the quarter. Cavs are up by 4 after 1. Then Juwan Howard.
Baseline.
Nice. And then Juwan Howard hits that jumper as well. 16 points in the half. Wizards are up by a 10 spot at the break. Third quarter, Cavs are trying to hang in there.
Ball movement.
Windmills, people. 60-55 Wizards, and then Wizards up by 3 in the third off the Tracy Murray miss. Rod Strickland, look at this shot. How did that go? And the foul. 71-66 Wizards. Sean Kemp frustrated all night. 2 tees, and that would be that. Sean's thinking about firing that basketball, but then thought better of it and left the floor.
That would have been about 20 grand.
That wouldn't have been good. Tracy Murray then passed Danny Ferry for the lay-in. 93-81 Wizards. Wizards win 104-88. No Webber, no problem. Murray had 24. Juwan 22 and 13 boards. Wizards make it 3 straight wins, and that assures that Washington will enter the All-Star break with a winning record for the first time since the 86-87 season. Heat Sixers, and same story when these two teams meet. Pick it up in the first quarter, and Allen Iverson trying to split the defense with Tim Hardaway with the rip, and Timmy Hardaway with a finish and one. Heat with a 2-point lead. Later in the first, Tim Hardaway to Alonzo handles this pass, and then he takes the short road to the basket. Miami on a 10-0 run in the first quarter. Miami getting the job done. Their bench helping out. Dan Marley, Ike Austin for the alley-oop. 35-23 Heat. Early third now. Iverson deflecting the Mashburn pass. Jim Jackson back to Iverson.
He's got hops.
The easy 2, 59-43. Sixers, but Philadelphia still trying to rally here. Derek Coleman spins around Alonzo Mourning. Now they're within 12. Actually, that's the Heat lead. Then Alonzo Mourning walking a tightrope. Good balance, and the big fella comes up with a turnover. Eric Murdoch picks off Tim Thomas's pass. He's not going to do it, but Zoe, trailing on the play, finishes. He had a nice game as the Heat wins 98-84. Alonzo Mourning, 19 points, 15 rebounds. Miami sweeping the season series 4-0. Philly has lost 7 in a row overall. Dallas and Boston. Don Nelson and Rick Pitino chatting. Pitino's like, hey, how you doing? Yeah, we're going to kick your butt today.
Wipe you guys
up. We're going to really clean your clock. Okay.
Nice tie down.
Yeah, we'll see you after. Hubert Davis drives with a hole with a pretty lay, and then look at the Mavs. Early, they're up by 4. And then Dana Barros comes up with a steal, and Barros, the lay-in, and he has fouled. The Celtics are coming back. Mavs are up by 2. Antoine Walker, alley-oop from Chauncey Billups. 61-54 Boston in the third. That's the Nelly we know. Now, watch, this is weird, Reggie. Look at Michael Finley at the free throw line. What gives?
You know what? That guy, I hope they kicked him out of the game, because that's not only if you put that in his eye, it could really hurt his retina and stuff.
Yeah, one of those little red laser
dot.
Some laser
things. Off of a gun, probably.
Yeah, it turns out they did toss the guy. They spotted him and tossed him out. He and his little red laser.
What an idiot.
Then after that, D. Brown just went nuts from three-point land in the final period. The bench loves it. Look at Walker up on his feet. D. Brown in this win. 6 3-pointers in the fourth quarter, 8 in the game. That is a new team record and a season-high 32 points. Dallas handed their 19th consecutive road loss. The Mavs falling to 1-17 all-time in Boston. And the Celtics, the subject of the Azuzu look ahead. Boston is off until after the All-Star break now. Then they pack their bags for a mega 8-game road trip over 13 days. Longest journey of the year. In fact, no other team in the league plays more than 7 straight road games.
That sounds like a road trip we used to take back in the day.
Yeah, that's a road trip from hell. So good luck, Leprechauns. Back to the Miami Heat, Reggie, and leading the Atlantic. And talk a little bit about this club and how they've come together, and now with Zoe back.
Well, I think this is a team that has a great shot, along with the Bulls in Indiana, to come out of the East. So much depends on Zoe, though. I mean, his emotion is the best thing and the worst thing about him, though. Sometimes everybody keeps talking about Zoe. If you push him, if you egg him on, he will lose it and be out of the game. But this is a team that if he comes to play, plugs the middle up, gets points underneath. You got Timmy outside getting it done all over. But they really could use Terry Mills getting back into only averaging 4 points, not giving nothing since he came from Detroit.
Well, they really felt that he would be the answer from outside for them, and it hasn't
Mashburn
turned out
playing
that
a little
way.
better, but it's Mills that will be the key.
Back in a moment with more Inside the NBA. You know, the Blazers have had quite a run against the Lakers. The latest chapter tonight in the Forum, and Kobe left him begging for more at the Forum. In a word, spectacular the kid was. We'll take a look.